Hi and welcome, students. In today's lesson, it is going to be a review or a refresh of everything we've taken in the past month for our first exam. So let's begin. Here we have Module 1. Like I said, your exam will consist of Module 1 and Module 2 and parts of Unit 1 in your Max book. Make sure you know the meaning of your vocabulary words. Make sure they're in your notebook with the definitions. Make sure we know what an adjective is, what a noun is. A word refers to a person, place, thing, and I have some examples here for you. I'm just briefly going to go through this because we explained it in detail before in my previous videos. Just to refresh, just to remind you. Remember that place can consider a school or a home or a hospital. For a place, a verb. Make sure we know what a verb is. You would probably need to استخرجوا noun or adjective from the article, so make sure we know what these are. A verb is a word used to describe an action or what a subject is doing. For example, sing, feel, cry, cook, dance, and so on. Make sure we know what pronoun is. Pronoun is a word that takes place of a noun. Pronouns can do all the things that nouns can do. They can be subjects, direct objects, indirect objects, and so on. Moving along, here we have using have to and don't have to. Now we said have to is an obligation. Obligation means يعني أنت ملزم. You have to do it. Excuse me. The person thinks it's necessary. For example, I have to be at school at 7 a.m. I have to cook dinner tonight for my family. So you are obligated. يعني ملزم. You have to do it. Don't have to means no obligation. يعني أنت غير ملزم. يعني you do not have to. You do not have to do it. You can do something, but you don't have to do it. It's not necessary. يعني مش ضروري. ممكن تسوي إذا أنت رايد أو أنت رايدة بس مش ضروري. For example, you don't have to wait here. Another example, he doesn't have to call her at work. So those are pretty simple. We just have to know that have to is an obligation. Don't have to is no obligation. Can't and can or can and cannot. Uses of can. Can is ability or possibility. For example, I can swim, or we can use it as permission. You can use my pen, and you are telling someone they have permission to use your pen. Now, the affirmative, so can in Arabic is يعني أنت مخير. يعني ممكن you can your يعني ability or possibility يعني أنت مخير. Can't يعني ممنوع. We can't يعني you're not allowed to do it. So gives can't gives false information. Can't makes negative comments. So let's remember that. Can أنت مخير بأن. You can if you're willing, if you have the ability to or a possibility. Now to use them in affirmative sentences and negative sentences, this is how we would put them. Like for singular, I, you, he, she, it, we say, I can speak English. You can ride a bike. He can drive a car. She can play the guitar. It can swim. So those are for the affirmative sentences for singular. For plural affirmative, it would be we, you, they. We can play football. You can see the stars. They can dance. And for the negative sentences, for the singular, I, you, he, she, it, We say, I can't speak English. You can't ride a horse. He can't drive a truck. She can't play the piano. It can't fly. And for the plural, we, you, they, we can't, you can't, they can't. So, take a good look at this. It's pretty simple. Just know what each one is referring to. Here I have must, can't, may, and might. So when we use must in a sentence, we need to know that we are 90 to 100% sure it's true. Okay? So I've given you some examples. She must be in the garden, or I'm sure she's in the garden. So you are 90 to 100% sure that she is in the garden. The next example is they must know each other. You have a great idea that 90 to 100% that they know each other. When we use can't in a sentence, we need to know that we are 90 to 100% sure it's not true. يعني when we say she can't be his mother, احنا متأكدين 90% 90 أو 100% إنه هاي مو أمه. She's too young. I'm sure she's not his mother. يعني أنت متأكدة لأنه شكلها كتير صغيرة ولا يمكن أنه تكون الأم للولد. Another example, he just left. He can't be too far. We are sure إنه that هو هلا احنا متأكدين انه هو ما وصل بعيد لانه هلا طلع. احنا متأكدين 90% انه هو لسه ما وصل بعيد لانه لسه ابدي طلع. And then when we use may and might, it's 30 to 50% maybe is true, maybe not. يعني نص. He might be dead, we don't know. Like 30 to 50% not true. يعني مش أكيد 50% yes 50% no, we don't know. He might not remember who we are, and maybe he does not remember. So we have to know that may and might 30 ل 50% يعني it's true, يعني maybe it's true مش أكيد. Take a good look at this. This is also pretty easy. But we just need to know what we are meaning when we put these in a sentence. Next, we have the modal verbs. Modal verbs can, could, may, might, must, should, and will. We went over these. Here I have can, ability. We can use it for ability. I can't speak English. We can use it for permission. Can I go to the restroom? You're taking permission. And for probability, يعني it can't be true. يعني مستحيل يعني ما أظن إنه حقيقي. Could. Now, could we use it for past ability? We use it for past permission. We use it for probability, 40%. And we also use it for request. And here I have some examples. He could speak French when he was 5 years old. We are talking about the past. Now he's older. يوم ما كان 5 سنين هو كان يعرف يحكي فرنسي. Past permission, he could go to the theater. He could go to the theater. Probability, it could get much hotter. يعني 40% ممكن إنه تشوب. And request يعني I could lend you my pencil. إنه ممكن أستعينك قلمي. May, we use it for probability, like I said, permission. Probability 50%. It may snow tomorrow. يعني 50% ممكن تلج. يا ريت تلج هون بالعربي, by the way. May, also we use it for permission. May I come in? You are asking, can I come in the classroom? Can I come in your room? Can I come in your car? So you are taking permission. Might, Probability, as we said, 35% or less. يعني it might rain today. يعني 35% ممكن تشتي. Must, we use it for prohibition, and probability 100%. So you mustn't speak loudly. It's a hospital. يعني احنا ما بنقدر نحكي بصوت عالي، احنا في مستشفى. Probability, the teacher must be Zain. I've seen his bicycle outside. The teacher must be Zain. I've seen his bicycle outside. You know, because you've seen the teacher's bicycle outside, you know that the teacher is there. Should, we use it for advice. You shouldn't smoke. I'm not حدا نصيحة مش لازم تدخنوا. It's unhealthy. You know, should for advice. You shouldn't eat junk food. So advice. Will, we use it for predictions and decisions. Prediction يعني نخمن. I think Hala will study harder this year. يعني أنا بخمن إنه هلا راح تدرس أكتر السنة هاي. And decision, it's very hot today. I'll go swimming. You know, so you're making a decision. I will go swimming. It's very hot today. Take a good look at these. Study these well. They're also pretty easy. We just need to know what each one refers to. Can, could, may, might, must, should, will. What each one of these modal verbs refers to. To know. To better put it in our sentences. And here we have our relative pronouns. الأسماء الموصولة. We have who, which, whose, whom, that, and what is the usage, and I have some examples for you. Who, we use it for people. Which, we use it for things and animals. Whose, for professions of people. And whom, used for people when the person is the object of the verb. That, used for people, things and animals. And then I have some examples here for you. I'm not going to read all of them because we already went through all of these. Just take a good look at this. Here we just have like a review of the past simple and past continuous, just for to refresh your memory. We need to know that past simple happened at a specific point, and the past continuous continued during a period in the past. We need to know that past simple, subject plus verb to, and past continuous, subject plus verb to be plus ing. That's pretty simple. And then I have some examples here for you. Make sure you remember this, just refresh your memory. Example, I was working from 9 to 5. I was working from 9 to 5. That is past continuous. Sarah was studying all day. Sarah, we have the subject, and then the past continuous, was studying. And then they were having dinner when we arrived. We have the subject, and then we have the past continuous. Example for the past simple, I started work at 9 a.m. and finished at 5 p.m. So it's something that happened at a specific point and which continued to the past continuous. That's basically what the past simple and past continuous is about. And we should remember for the present continuous, adding ing, and then when we have to take away the e to add the ing, make sure that when we have an e, to remove the e and add ing. And then here read becomes reading, play playing, talk, talking, laugh, laughing, make, remove the E and we add ing, write, remove the E, add ing, and so on. We should remember after one vowel and consonant, double consonant, run, we should double it. So after one vowel plus consonant, we double the consonant. So we have N, and run is a consonant, and then U is the one vowel, so we know that we need to double the N, so it becomes RUNNING. And then swim, so we know here's the consonant M, and then we know to double it, MMING. T is also, and then we have the vowel in front of the T, which is the I. The vowel, remember the vowels are A, E, I, O, U. So when we have a vowel and then we have a consonant, consonant is all the letters beside the vowels. So we have IT, UT, OT, and UN. Those are all vowel plus a consonant. So we know we have to double the consonant, which is like stop, PP, putting, TT, sitting, TT, swimming, MM, running, NN. This is a very important point we need to remember. Take a good look at this. Make sure you know when we need to double the consonant and when we need to add the ing and when we need to take away the E to add ing. And then here we have the comparative and superlative. We know the comparative for one syllable we add ER, and for the one syllable we add EST, so fast becomes faster, and then for the superlative it becomes the fastest. Remember that we need to add the for the superlative. The one syllable ending in E, any one syllable word that ends in E, we need to just add an R. So nice, we already have an E, so we just, for the comparative, we have to add ER, but since we have an E, we just add an R. So nice becomes nicer, and strange becomes stranger, because there's already an E at the end of those words. And then for the superlative, it becomes the nicest and the strangest. We should remember one syllable, consonant plus a short vowel, okay, we double it, like what I was just telling you right now. So if we have one syllable word that ends in a consonant, but before the consonant there's a vowel, like big, that's a G is a consonant, and then we have I, that's a vowel, so we have to double the G, like I was telling you. So big becomes bigger, and then we double the G, so it becomes BIGGER. And for the superlative, it becomes the biggest. We still doubled the GG, and then we added EST. Hot, we also have, in hot, we have O as a vowel and T as a consonant. So we double the T, HOTTER, and then for the superlative, it becomes the hottest. For the two syllables ending NY, so happy is two-syllable word, happy, and then it ends in Y, we remove the Y and we add IER for the comparative, remember. And then for the superlative, we always add the, and then we remove the Y in happy and we added IEST. So happy became happier for the comparative, became the happiest for the superlative. Now, for the two or more syllables, like famous or beautiful, we add, for the comparative, we add more. So we have to say more famous. And for beautiful, we say more beautiful for the two or more syllable words. For the superlative, it becomes the most famous, and then for the beautiful, it becomes the most beautiful because we're comparing between three. Okay, so the common exceptions are good becomes better and then becomes the best. I already went through this in our previous videos. Bad becomes worse, the worst, little, much, less, more, and then least. And then I have some examples here for you. The dog is faster than the elephant. The horse is the fastest. The horse is bigger than the dog. Just some comparative examples. We already went through this just to refresh your memory. Take a good look at this. It's pretty easy. Just make sure for the one syllable we add ER and then we add EST. And then for the one syllable ending in E, we just add an R, and so on. Here we have, like in our positive sentences, I, you, we, they work. He, she, it, we need to add an S, works. He works. We cannot say he work, she work, it work. No, we must add an S. That's for the positive. For the negative, we say I do not work, you do not work, we do not work, they do not work. He, she, it, he doesn't work, she doesn't work, and it doesn't work. For the question, we say do you work, do they work, do you work? And for he, she, it, does he work? Does she work? Does it work? So that's how we make the sentence. And then here I just have just examples. Where do you live? What do you do? And then we need to remember that most verbs we can add an S. So dance becomes dances, cook becomes cooks, sleep becomes sleeps. And then the verbs ending in ES, wash becomes washes, we must add an ES. Teach, teaches, fix, fixes. And the verbs ending in consonant and Y, we drop the Y and we add IES, like study, as I was telling you before. Study, remove the Y and we add IES. Try, remove the Y and we add IES. Take a quick look at this. I tried to make it as simple as possible, not to complicate things. And then here, just to refresh your memory, the present perfect simple versus the present continuous. Here we have subject plus verb, and we need to know that the present perfect expresses the general truth. For example, it rarely rains in the desert. Yani, this is a fact, something true about the desert. It barely ever rains. That means it doesn't ever rain. It indicates present habits. The birds return to the island every morning. Habit, like something you do regularly. Also, present perfect expresses timeable events. The plane to London takes off at 6:30 a.m. So we have the subject, and then we have the verb, and we have a timeable event. And also present perfect indicates permanent states. Like, for example, I like the new Will Smith film. It's just, just a statement. And then I have some examples here for you on the bottom. We just need to remember the present continuous subject plus am is are, not VING. The present continuous describes actions happening now and continuing. She is reading a newspaper upstairs, so it's happening now, and she's still reading, so it's continuing. That's why it's called present continuous. Present continuous also expresses annoying habits, like always. When we add always, you're always forgetting to pay the bills. That's a habit. يعني إشي دائما ممكن تعمليه ممكن يكون يعني annoying to some people. We need to remember that present continuous also describes future arrangements. she's getting married on November 3rd. Future arrangement يعني في عنا تاريخ معين و يعني احنا بنعرفه وراح يصير اشي على التاريخ هذا. We also need to remember present continuous expresses temporary states. Again, she's working at the museum until the end of this month. Temporary يعني مؤقت. يعني هي عم تشتغل في المتحف لآخر الشهر. So it's a temporary job مش للأبد. And then I have some examples here, like when we say now, we are sleeping now. Right now, she's watching TV. At the moment, they are learning at the moment. Today, I am not eating. Yeah, and just some examples here. And then here we have the prefix and suffix. Prefix and suffix, Max, page 11. So make adjectives by adding a suffix to a noun by using the following suffix: y, able, ful, ish, ly, or e. So dirt becomes dirty, smoke becomes smoky by adding a y. Fog, like we said, there's a consonant and then we have a vowel, so we doubled the G and we added Y. Comfort becomes comfortable, fashion becomes fashionable, care becomes careful, beauty becomes beautiful, stress, stressful, child, childish, sad, sadly, soft, soft and wide and happy, happily. We removed the Y and we added ILY. And here we have complete the sentences using the correct form of the verb, using present simple and the present continuous. Here we have a word in brackets, and you must decide whether it's present simple or present continuous by adding an S or by adding an ing. So the first one, my brother usually blank a bus to school. Today he is taking a taxi. My brother usually takes a bus to school, because we're talking about past action. Today, which is present continuous, today he is taking, so we added a ing to take. And then Zayn usually, we have eat in brackets. Zayn usually eats healthy meals, but today he is eating a big slice of chocolate cake. So usually, we're talking in the past, action. He usually eats, so we add an S, we know. And then when we're talking about today, present, today he is eating, we added an ing to eat, so it became eating. And number 3, at the moment we are having a party on the beach. And then we have have in brackets. At the moment, since we have at the moment, which is present, we add an ing. We are having, because it's now, it's present and it's continuing, a party on the beach. We always blank parties on Sundays. So in the past, we always have parties on Sundays. So have remains the same. For 4, he always reads. He always reads comics, but today he is reading. So we know when we see the word today, we know that we have to add an ing. And then when we see always or usually or always or usually, we add an S. So that's like a trick to remember when to add an S and when to add ing. But today he is, so we have today, so we know to add ing. Usually and always we add an S. So take a quick look at this. And here we have the past simple verbs. Just refreshment, past simple. I know you've already taken this, but I just like to add it for just in case some of you don't remember it. We know that the past simple is subject plus the verb to. For the positive sentences, for the negative, subject plus didn't plus verb one. And then for the question, for the past simple, did plus subject plus verb one. And then here I have some examples too. And just remember the tense of most verbs ends in ed. These are called the irregular verbs. So those that end in ed, we know that they are regular verbs. The base form plus ed, so we have like watch becomes watched, play becomes played, called becomes called, cancel becomes canceled. And then the verbs ending in a consonant and y, we already went through this. We changed the y and we to I and then ed. So like study, again, we removed the y, we added I, and then we added ed. So it became studied. Try, same thing, remove the y, we added I, and then ed. Worried, same thing, we removed the y, we added I, and then ed. Carry, cry, and marry, same thing. Verbs ending in e, we just added d. So like close, it already ends in e, we just added a d and became closed. Like, there's already an e, becomes liked. Hate, there's already an e, it becomes hated. Taste becomes tasted. And then the past simple form of some verbs do not end in ed are called irregular verbs. So, write, we cannot say writed. No, write becomes wrote. Speak, we cannot say speaked. No, we say speak. Speak becomes spoke. And eat becomes ate. Read becomes read. It's spelled the same, but we just pronounce it a little bit differently. We do not say writed. We do not say speaked. We do not say eated. And we do not say readed. So write becomes wrote. Speak becomes spoke. Eat becomes ate. Read becomes read. Do not forget those. These are on the exam. Take a quick look at these. I'm basically repeating them over just in different examples, different words. So this is for the past simple verbs. And here we have the relative pronouns, who in the usage, whom in the usage, whose in the usage, which, that, where, when, why, and what. I have the usage for you and I have examples for you. Who refers to people, whom refers to people, object of the verb, whose refers to possessions, possessions, yes, or relationship, which refers to animals and objects, that refers to people, things, and animals, where refers to places, when refers to time, why refers to reasons, and what refers to things. And then I have examples here. He who overcomes his anger subdues his greatest enemy. And we are talking, who is referring to he, or she, could be in general. Whom, she's the woman whom I met in France. Whom is referring to the woman that I met in France. Whose keys are on the kitchen table. Yani we are asking, لمين هدول المفاتيح? They're somebody's possession. Who are they for? Which, did you see the letter which came today? في مكتوب إجا اليوم. شفت المكتوب اللي إجا اليوم. That's when we talk about objects. That the woman that we met in France sent us a letter. The woman that. So that can refer to people, things, and animals. In this case, it's referring to the woman. So that is referring to the woman we met in France. where sign your name on the form where I put a cross. يعني هون المكان، يعني حطي اسمك وين أنا حطيت الأكس، هون المكان. When, let me know when mother arrives. Let me know when mother arrives. يعني we're referring to time. يعني احكي لي يوم ماما تروح، وقتيش بتروح. Why? I'd like to know the reason why you're so late. For a reason يعني بدي أعرف السبب ليش أنت متأخرة. And what? I didn't hear what you said. Pardon me, I didn't hear what you said. What can refer to things يعني متأسفة بس أنا ما سمعت إيش حكيتي أو حكت. Okay, so that's relative pronouns. Study these as well. Study these really good. And here we have the comparative and superlative, which we went through them already. Just more examples. Comparative, we know we're comparing two things. Superlative, we are comparing the difference between more than two things. So remember, comparative, we're comparing two things. Superlative, we're comparing more than two things. And then here I have some examples. When to put an E, when to remove the Y. One syllable ending in E, two syllables, superlative. So, and this is what the first exam is going to revolve. Everything that I just reviewed with you. So we have module 1 and 2 in your student activity book. We have unit 1, and then revise the present simple and the past continuous, the present perfect simple, the future simple. No, I'm not going to bring that on the exam. And then have to and don't have to, can and can't, the relative pronouns, comparative and superlative, and your vocabulary words. Also, I will bring a small article and maybe a few questions on it. And that's your review for your first month exam. I wish you luck, and just a little positive note from me: keep calm and wear your mask all the time. Until our next lesson. Ciao.